Huh? Thursday. Well, I don't know. Nothing. What?
We're not going Thursday.
Where are you going?
Huh?
Talk to Jory.
You're on TV. You're on candid camera.
Huh? Bring that.
Show me, Joe. Show me the key. The little piece that broke. The little broken piece. So this is Sunday. And again, Joe is still trying to work with this key. Can you explain what's going on, babe? The key broke out of the box, right?
The whole, yeah, after the flipping part right here.
So you can't glue it on the stuff?
Completely break off the whole piece now.
So what you gonna do? Buy this box off the internet?
After I buy that box off the internet.
Swap out the guts of this, put it into that box and make a new key?
That's the only chance, that's the only thing we got.
Hey guys, it's about 12:30 Monday afternoon. It's November the 2nd. Oh my goodness, I can't believe we're in November already. No, Christmas is coming too quickly. So anyways, Joe just loaded the truck for the customer. He paid last week and the check cleared so he can get his items. In the future, if I'm going to work for this guy, he's definitely going to have to go back to what he did originally, which is give me 50% up front and 50% before the stuff leaves, because even though I had a quote in writing and that's what saved my butt for him to have to pay me the money, I certainly didn't trick the man, you know, and he acted like I tricked him. And so it wasn't until I told him that he was trying to nickel and dime me was when he released the check, because he knew he was. Everything was there. Everybody has to pay these setup fees if you're breaking down certain amounts of bottles into smaller increments, right? So anyways, I came to work this morning and I got depressed right away because as I was sweeping some dirt out of the lobby area, I thought I heard somebody lock the door next door, which, you know, those people are supposed to be gone, right? So when I looked out the door, there was a young man walking away pretty fast and I didn't know where he disappeared to. But he didn't get in any car, so I figured he went into one of these buildings, but then I wasn't even 100% sure that he really had keys to that door. So I went to go pay the rent, and when I got there, the Japanese guy asked me if the smell was still coming into my building. And so I told him no, that it was pretty much gone. So then the lady kind of spun around, because she's the one that's the witch with the capital B. So she spun around in her chair and she was just like, I said, did you gain access? Did you get an appointment to gain access into the building? And then she goes, no, we just called out code enforcement. You know what? I'm all too happy for her to get the credit for that if that's what she wants, because I really don't care to get the credit. I'm just so glad that code came, right? So anyways, she said that code told her that they're going to come back with a battering ram when they come back, and they're going to bash through the door to get inside the building because they're not letting them in. So I asked her, why don't you just give them the key if they have a warrant? And then she says that they don't have the keys to the units, that we, the owners, are the ones that have the keys. I was like, wow, that's pretty interesting to know. And so then she says, we don't even know if that's what they're doing. We don't want to accuse anybody falsely of what they're doing. And I'm like, just because 5 senses and one of the sense, which is my sight, didn't see what they were doing doesn't mean they weren't doing that, because everything else, you guys are not even here. And just based on what I'm telling you and showing you, you know that that's what they're doing. She even had the nerve to say that the tint that's on the door is not even so dark because you can peek in. You definitely cannot peek in, okay? We've tried. And so, she says, I walked around back there and I asked your neighbors what was going on, and they didn't have nothing to say. I said, because they don't like you and they don't trust you. You think they're going to tell you anything? And so then she looked at me, you know, like, man, I think she wanted to kill me or something. And so anyways, I came back, and after I was sitting here chit-chatting with Joe, I saw somebody go in the building. And I told Joe, I said, somebody went in there. And so we waited for a couple of minutes and the person came back out, and guess who it was? The plot thickens, guys. Remember that guy that I showed you in the last vlog that was taking a picture of his grandbaby on top of the bush? It was him. For some reason, he has keys to the building. And now we just found out that the managers or the owners don't have keys to the building. And she's not lying, because I called the old manager that used to manage for the old owners, and she says, no, we never did. Whenever we give you the keys, you're the only ones with key. And if emergency personnel has to get in, they're going to have to break in unless you come and bring a key. So she doesn't have a key to the building if she gave it to them. So who gave the key to the people next door? It had to have been the drug dealers. And they probably said, well, here, use the building for free until they find out we're not here. And I'm not going to go back up front and tell her who has the keys. And I'm not going to tell them that the battering ram is coming. You know, I'm just going to stay here and keep my mouth closed and just keep my cameras handy and hope that code enforcement comes back on a day when I'm here because I'm that bloody nosy. So then look right here. I don't know what's going on right here under my eye, but I just noticed that I'm having an adverse reaction to something, and I didn't take any medications today. The only medicine that I take is the thiazide. I'm supposed to take it daily, but I don't take it daily because it really wreaks havoc on me. So I take it like when I feel like I've come in contact with MSG. So this could be an adverse reaction to whatever was going on over there. Sometimes my reactions are delayed because I have that enzyme that's missing from my blood. And so sometimes it takes 21 days for me to have a bad reaction. Like, to give you guys an example, one time they put a heart Holter monitor on me. That's when they found out that I have PVCs. And I wore it for 4 days. And it wasn't until I took it off 21 days later, some welts came up where the pads were for the Holter monitor. And I was like, this is so weird. It's at the same location where everything was. And I went back into the doctor and they were like, this is an adverse reaction to the glue that's in the pads, but why did it take this long to manifest itself? Normally it would manifest itself when you're wearing the pads. And then they went back to my deficiency and the asthma medicines that I used to take back in those days and all that stuff. And they're like, that's why it's delayed. And so anyways, I don't know what's happening here, but I'm having an adverse reaction to something or the other. And I'm just so glad that the reaction is not to my baby. The reaction is not to you, my baby.
Okay.
Huh?
Okay.
What's wrong? Huh? What's wrong?
That's wrong.
Uh-huh.
Give me some money.
Money?
Mm-hmm.
Bitch better got my money. I forgot a dentist for 2 o'clock. It's kind of nice when your boss is your husband. Mm-hmm. So let me tell you something that happened at the church last night. So as I was leaving, the mother of the pastor's wife, so the mother of the first lady, she came to me and she gave me this flyer from their little committee at the church, their auxiliary called Trailblazers, I think. And she's like, I want you to read this on Wednesday. And I was like, okay. And she says, I want you to do it. Nobody else, okay, because you read it the best. I'm like, she's so sweet. But then I soon realized that she was setting me up. She was setting me up because she wanted to get something done without going through the protocol at the church. And so I kind of, figured in my spirit something was off. So I went to the assistant pastor's wife, which is the one that is my boss, so to speak. I don't get paid, but she's my boss. And I said, Mother blah, blah, blah wanted me to read this on Wednesday, but I brought it to you immediately because she wants it to be recorded Wednesday and played in the church that Wednesday night, because whatever the function is will be happening that Sunday at church. And I said, I don't think that's even physically possible because you guys don't do your own editing, right? And she goes, this is not happening. I said, what? And then she says, she knows the routine, she knows the protocol, and she knows that she's supposed to email me these things so I can put it for recording the week before, because when you record on Wednesdays, the earliest we can play that thing is for that Sunday. And most of the time it's going to start running the next week, Wednesday, and then run the Sunday and so on and so on. She goes, we send this stuff out to get edited. We don't do it here. And I was like, okay, well, here it is. Here's the flyer. You take that up with her now. And because I really like this lady. She's so cool. And so I'm like, my name is Les, and I'm not in that mess. And so I think the first lady's mom thought she could just like bypass her and just bring it to me, and then I would do what she says, do what she said to do, and then she would get her stuff in there more quickly. Well, I'm like, oh God, no, I don't want to be caught up in the politics of this church. Church people can be mean. I don't know if you guys know that, but church people are the worst, okay? Right, Boo? Mm-hmm. Boo, stop looking like that.
Like what?
Like the world is upon your shoulders.
You upon my shoulder. Rest your love on me, oh I saw you in the corner from the moment I walk in.
Tuesday morning, November the 4th, it's voting day again. I gotta go get my stuff and see what I'm supposed to be voting for. Anyways, we're getting ready to leave right now to take Joe to a doctor's appointment. He's finally going to go check into those headaches that he's always had. Sometimes they're bad, sometimes they're a little bit better to manage, but we want to make sure once and for all what's causing them. You know, it could be environmental factors like the solvents and the inks and stuff that he's used on the job for the past 30 odd years. It could be his sinuses that's maybe more irritated because of those things that I just said. Or it could be any of the major things that we don't want to think of, right? So I'd rather him get checked out, and if something has to be found, that it's found early. And then if it's nothing, then you have peace, you know, which I'm really not worried anyways. But I don't tend to sit and let things slide and then go, oops, I could have caught it, you know, early or whatever. That his blood pressure was 140/88, right? I don't think you saw, right? You've never had that kind of blood pressure.
I know, with
Don't furry up your brow. You look like one of those doors that pull down at the shop. Relax. Breathe. Oh my God. Don't breathe like that.
Okay.
The lighting in here sucks.
What you trying to say?
You know what? The lighting in here sucks. It makes you look like pasty. I'm not even going to turn the camera on me. Forget that. Imagine how I'm going to look.
So you want me to look ugly then?
You have dark enough skin that you look good in any lighting, but not me. I'm pale and I don't look good in certain lighting. Came back to the shop today just to hang for a little bit. Kind of being nosy, want to see when code enforcement is going to come with that battering ram. So like I told you guys, we're able to peek through the blackness of the window now because they have a light on in the warehouse and they have the door open. And I can see that the next door neighbor put all the old cars that they're working on inside the building. About 4 cars are parked in there. I don't even know how they got that many cars inside the unit. I guess because my unit is packed with machinery. Because I think a couple of my machines are the size of a car, right?
You get
Joe, isn't Samson the size of a car?
you get like 8 cars in that place.
Well, anyways, when code comes and gets inside that building, they're going to confiscate everything that's in there. Some customers of theirs are not going to have their cars. I mean, think about that. You knew these drug dealers so well when they've only been there 6 weeks to 8 weeks that they would leave you with the keys to the building because they abandoned the building. So now you have the keys to the building to put your old cars in there. How convenient is that? I don't believe in any type of coincidences ever. I'm one of those people that conspiracy theorist people. I'm not like cuckoos about it now, but I don't believe in coincidences. And I don't think that drug dealers would come there for 6 to 8 weeks and not really talk to anybody per se that we could see, and then abandon the building and give you the keys. You know what I mean? So they must know, if they didn't know them, that they know that they're thugs and shady. The old guy that was putting that baby up there, he looks like an OG. You know, he looks like he used to be a pimp in his day, or still a pimp now, and basically a thug. And so they have the keys to the building. They're parking their old cars in there. Yeah, I have it. And oh my goodness, I am growing so impatient. I hope you guys are watching along with me, because I'm trying to put these vlogs up as quickly as I can, because I can't wait for court enforcement to come back. I told Joe, I said, let's go do what we're going to do and come right back and sit over there and wait this thing out, because I definitely want to see them gain entry, and not gain entry through my door. They can come and cut through my wall. I really don't care. They come and cut through my wall, because, you know, wall is cheaper to put back up than that glass door. You know what I mean, Joe? And so, that guy next door is playing a really a bad game that's going to end up bad for him, because he's going to be complicit in all this drug dealing once they come in there. If they can't get the drug dealer, they're going to get the shirt. So that's what's going to happen, you know, to that dude. And I really feel like they knew. I feel like these people knew the drug dealers and probably recommended them to come there, because they probably said, oh, nobody's going to question nothing, you know, because it's a bunch of thugs back there. Joe and I and Osley are the only decent people back there, I'll be honest with you, that really believe in the Lord and serve the Lord and try to do things right and not try to find a shady way of doing stuff. Have you guys ever been to a pawn shop? Joe, have we ever been inside of a pawn? We went in there one time before to buy guitar strings, right? At that pawn shop. Did we go in there one time before for something, or to look for strings for Jada's violin or something? Why do I recall going in there?
I don't know.
Maybe jewelry? It says Fontana Jewelry and Loan.
The guitar place is down over by the string.
Oh, so maybe I'm getting it mixed up. We've never been inside the pawn shop. Yes, we did. We went in there to ask them what that guitar was worth. What do you call it? The Martin. And they wanted to give us a little bit of nothing for it, right? We just wanted to find out the value of it. So we have that Martin guitar, right? And Joe always played around with it. He won it in a bet from one of his uncles back like in 1979. The guitar is a 1974. Joshua used to knock it around and beat it and try to play it when he was a baby, and he would call it the Shar. Daddy, can I play the Shar? And it just kind of sat there, and we put it on a stand one time, and this guy came to the house to give us a quote on adding like a patio, an enclosed patio behind the dining room. And he came back in and he quoted me $30,000 to put that addition. I was like, oh my God, no. I thought you were gonna say something like $5,000. Where was my head? And so he's all like, he was leaving, and then he says, is that a Martin guitar? I didn't know. I didn't know brands of guitars at the time, right? And I said, I don't know. And so he went over to look at it, and he goes, this is a 1974 Martin. He really knew his guitars, because it doesn't say that on the guitar. It has a code on the inside, and you have to put that code in on Google to find out what year that guitar is, right? Or look up in a book or something. And he goes, oh my God. And it's in pristine condition. And he says, if you would consider giving me this guitar as payment towards, because he owned his own business, towards the addition, I would knock $15,000 off the price of that room. Oh my God. I almost fainted. I'm like, I think my husband kind of has sentimental value with the guitar, but I'll talk with him. I wanted to get that man out of my house for fear that he might rob me for that guitar. So anyways, I'm gonna put my hand down. I don't like holding the camera like this, even though I'm the one doing holding the camera and not Joe, because I think the cops will say, oh, it's blocking his line of view or something. And look, let me show you. They're ticketing somebody over there.
There's two cops?
One on a motorcycle. Let me stop for a minute. Marie, this is for you. I'm gonna do the best I can to explain this song to you, all right? So the guy's singing about, you know, on some Sunday morning he jumped on a minibus, and when they got to the terminus, which I guess is the bus depot, they saw a ram goat kind of running around loose, and so a guy on the bus was like, the goat should die so we could buy a pound of rice, which really means they wanted to kill the goat. So let's go to the next screen. All right, so here it goes. This is the chorus. It says, the ram goat's liver is good to make manish water. And my mom says manish water is some type of stew or soup that they make in Jamaica out of goat. You know, we don't make that in Belize, so we don't know that name. And this is the part that Jada thought of when she saw that you cook that goat. It says the teeth can make good earrings for your daughter. So I guess they use the teeth to make stuff. And then it says curried goat lunch, put the bite in your bark, because you know curry is spicy, and it makes your daughter walk and talk. I don't really know what that means. I guess they just wanted to rhyme. I guess they end up killing the goat, and it says the news spread fast like a telegram. Nobody knew where the goat came from, and then they put a pot on to boil. I don't even know where they found fire or a stove or whatever, but they sure are eating this goat. And then they had yams and banana tip and, you know, all the things that go in that stew, I guess. And then they started eating the goat soup. Then right here they're doing the chorus again of the song. So then they're well and full, and I guess he burped. They said belch here, of course. And then he's going down the road to bum a ride. I guess the bus left them, or the bus was broke down or whatever. And then he started to cramp. He's got a runny belly, which means he got diarrhea. And he says everybody in the road was dying with laughter because he had, you know, the gripings and the diarrhea. And then he says that's when he knows that crime will never pay. So it tells you right there that they killed that goat that didn't even belong to them. So they absolutely stole the goat. So that's what the whole song's about. But we just like the line about the teeth making the earring for your daughter, because they do stuff like that in the Caribbean. So Marie, Pluto Shervington is just one of the many artists that I grew up listening to in the 1970s that I thoroughly still enjoy. He's got a lot of cute little songs like that one that I shared with you on Facebook, as I remember them and I find them on YouTube. I'll share them with you at Facebook, and then if you don't understand what he's saying, I'll tell you, just like I did here with the other goat song, okay? So today I went to the church to record one commercial today, and Josh went with me because the weather was so dreary and I really wanted the company, and I'm so glad that he went with me because going there I had trouble with traffic in this one little section where people get on and off the freeway, and coming back we had trouble again because there was an accident. And Joe stayed home because he really had one of his bad headaches. I really do think he's battling some type of a sinus infection because he even had the chills today. He just got his appointment for November 17th, I think he said, at 7 in the morning to go get his CAT scan. And remember, they're only doing the CAT scan because he kind of suggested it, and he brought it up because the elder that prays for us and with us was the one that says go ahead and have them do that to rule everything else dire out, and then you know, we start treating it for what it is, which we do think it's some type of sinus related issues. I was glad that Joshua went with me because they really ate him up with a spoon. I mean, I joined that church when my kids were already young adults, so they don't have to go if they don't want to go. I raised my kids right, and if they want to join a church in the future, they will. And so he went with me, and I think they've only seen him there a few times, so they kind of ate him up with a spoon and put him to work right away too. And I was messing with him, and I told him that he also has a beautiful announcer's voice and that he could come do some of the commercials. And Josh was like, I can't sing peppy like that. You have to sing peppy when you're doing a commercial. I can read spooky stories. And they kind of looked at him like, what? So I didn't go to Bible study tonight. Joe just got over whatever he was going through, so I couldn't push the issue. But they do stream live. The services start at 7, and they don't start streaming until 7:30, which is almost at that time. And I'm gonna go turn it on and watch it while I edit. Found. Thank you so much for watching, liking, and subscribing. Please check out my other channels right here to the right of your screen, the cooking channel, the product review channel, and Joe's channel. The links are in the description box.